Three worlds exist, and all three began from the same source. To the west lie kingdoms of sorcerers. Here a single tome outweighs 100 swords. Mana. Energy scattered across the world, engraved in runes, bound by formulae. A power that reveals itself only to those who seek knowledge. To the east, mountain ranges veiled in endless mist. Beyond them, those who have lived for centuries. Chi is born within the body. Train it, accumulate it, refine it through every breath. Power doesn't come from outside. It awakens from within. And between them, where two forces collide, a city stands. Between skyscrapers, rifts tear open. One day, without warning, power awakens inside you. Blessing or curse, no one knows. Mana, Chi, awakened power. Three names, one origin. These worlds have always been connected. This world still has stories untold. Subscribe and follow along. No stars, grade F. The weakest creatures in this world. And yet, they've survived across all three continents. Goblins. 60 centimeters tall, with almost no strength and barely any magic. They'll eat anything and survive just about anywhere. But they've got a weapon of their own. Give them any environment, and in just 3 generations, they'll master it completely. Adaptation. That's how goblins survive. The tribal goblins of the Western continent paint their faces for war and cut down knights from the shadows of the forest. They aren't the weakest fighters. They're the first to strike. Too weak to wield ki directly, the Chongwi of the Eastern continent bottle it into talismans and sell it instead. A single talisman and an entire village ends up in their debt. The dungeon goblins of the central citylands hide deep in the sewers and rift dungeons, clutching every secret the city breathes. What you did today, they already know. Alone, they're nothing more than prey. But the moment they gather, something ignites. The fastest breeders alive, fueled by a survival instinct that simply won't quit. That's the goblin's true weapon. Are the weak truly weak? The world simply hasn't learned what goblins really are. Goblins are only the beginning. In this world, there are races no one has met yet. Why do adventurers become heroes? On the other side, someone's life always burns to ash. Skal had parents too, small and weak, the way goblins always are. But they were alive, and they were his. The tribe was everything, and the forest was home. His father shaped bones beside him, and that was enough of a world. He came with no face and no reason. The fire arrived first. His parents pushed Skal away without a word. Run, survive, their hands were saying it for them. His parents stood their ground, and then they fell. There wasn't anything more to the story than that. Skal hid in the brush, barely breathing. He didn't cry, didn't close his eyes either. Only one thing survived. The smallest and weakest creature in this world, standing there in the pale morning light. Skal never forgot that faceless one. The weak either break or they change into something else. Revenge is a luxury for a goblin. That's why no one tried to stop Skal. He lived alone and learned alone in the deep quiet of the forest. For a goblin, surviving this long was something close to unnatural. 7 years had passed. He tracked by smell, followed footprints through seasons, and today, he'd finally closed the distance. There he was, by the fire, still faceless, as if he'd been waiting for Skal all along. He was 60 centimeters tall, with almost no strength and no magic at all. Reality didn't explain itself. It just pressed him into the ground. He had nothing left to lose. So it erupted from somewhere inside him, somewhere that didn't have a name. It came from collective instinct. The battle sense of dozens of creatures poured into one small body, and it didn't stop pouring. For the first time, the adventurer stepped back from a single goblin. The world wouldn't remember that moment, but Skal would. Skal came to understand it then. The rage of the weak can move the world if it holds on long enough. The nameless goblin died. In its place, Skal stood. Born in fire, awakened in rage, and he named himself. Nobody gave it to him. Should he kill them, or should he show them what he was? Skal stood on that hill for a long time, not moving. The world had always pushed goblins out. Skal had watched it happen enough times to know exactly what he was fighting for. Awakening wasn't a rampage. Skal chose when to unleash it, and that choice was everything. He didn't want to be a hero. He just refused to lose. The faceless one is still alive out there. That's why Skal isn't done yet. 2 stars. What started as the weakest thing in the world became something this world is afraid of. Call him Skal. This world still holds many nameless things. In this world, having powers doesn't make you a hero. It makes you a professional. Here, where the mana of the West and the kui of the East collide, unstable spirit energy sometimes latches onto a person. That's when an awakening happens. The higher the rank, the more an awakener looks like a celebrity. The moment a star gets attached to your name, the world starts seeing you differently. 2 forces hold this system together: the Ether Society, self-governed by Awakeners, and the state's Awakener Bureau. Same goal, very different instincts. The Ether Society assigns ranks from F to S. That one number decides where you stand in this world. Awakeners form guilds around what they do: rift sealing, hunting, entertainment. If you've got the means and the skill, you can build one. Rifts are routine. Guilds handle them. The state covers the rest. But when an Awakener loses control completely, there's no protocol. The system classifies it as a disaster, not a crime. The system was built with good intentions. That doesn't make it fair. A goblin Awakener with proven ability can still be denied insurance. The Awakener story is just getting started. Awakening isn't an opportunity, it's a mark. An S-rank Awakener smiles from every billboard. The society puts them at the center. Everyone believes it. Awaken, and everything changes. Assessment day. The meter stops. The clerk reads it aloud. F. This is just the beginning, he said with a smile. F-rank jobs, waste removal, mutant rat trapping, overnight watch. Get hurt on one, and training stops. Training stops, and growth stops. The loop closes right there. Runaway insurance, billed monthly. No money left for training. Take a dangerous job, get hurt again. Another invoice next month. Awakeners from S-rank families average B on their first assessment. Those from non-Awakener homes average F. Same day of awakening. Very different starting lines. The society issued a statement. Rank is an objective measure of ability, applied equally to all. The F-rank Awakener heard it, said nothing. A goblin joins the line. Registered, but denied runaway insurance. Last priority for job assignments. The system can put your name in. It doesn't promise your safety. What if this system was designed from the start? The F-rank Awakener's actual reading. In the society's internal file, it's listed as B. What lies at the end of this world, no one knows yet. An internal society document leaked. File name, suppress grade. 2 lines in the file. Assessment, F. Actual reading, B+. Someone adjusted that number on the day of testing. This wasn't a single case. Awakeners backed by top guilds consistently rated 1 rank higher. Goblin Awakeners consistently rated 1 or 2 lower. 2 methods: missing performance records or a second measurement with a different device. When both appeared together, it stopped being coincidence. The assessment meter, version 2.3. That model was the tool. The guild in the corridor was the beneficiary, the board and the top guilds. More F ranks means a steady supply of cheap labor. This design was running from the moment the society launched. The Awakener who leaked this file disappeared the next day. Officially listed as a voluntary withdrawal, nobody can reach them. An Awakener suppressed from B to F in potential, gone out of control. Filed as an F rank runaway incident, nothing more. The Awakeners outside the system. If it had been fair, they wouldn't be underground right now. Did the S ranks know? Numbers do not lie. Only the hands that write them do. The floor cracked with ice before anyone said a word. Examiners stared, and not one of them moved. Grade F. She read it twice, then smiled like it was a starting line, not a finish. The F-rank guild smelled like dust and low expectations. Her desk held nothing but a stack of rat-catching requests. She aimed for one rat. Half the building ended up frozen solid. The Central Awakener Association returned her appeal without comment. Procedurally clean. Completely closed. A B-rank Awakener was fighting in the street. She watched for a moment, then raised her hand. Her ice covered twice the ground his did. If they won't change the grade, she'll prove herself with it instead. She actually laughed when she said it. The internal files showed different numbers. Actual grade, B+. One processing flag. Suppress, grade. The official record read F. Inside the file, another number lay sleeping. 5 low-tier mutants. One lunged forward, and Ria reached out. It froze mid-leap. The other 4 stopped in their tracks. The team stayed silent for a long moment. Then Ria tilted her head and asked, perfectly calm, "Is it okay if I stay on the team?" Daily life in the F-rank guild was nothing short of humble. Catching rats, mapping sewers, and every so often, an entire hallway flash frozen by accident. One day, a goblin sat alone in the corner with his hood pulled low, staring at nothing with tired yellow eyes. "Why do you live like you have already given up?" Ria asked. "I have not given up," Grix said. "I am just being realistic." A wave of monsters poured from the rift, ready to crush Grix. Something shifted behind Lia's eyes, and a massive pillar of ice erupted from the ground. The next morning, a scouting offer sat waiting on Lia's desk. And somewhere along the way, the name on her association file had been quietly changed. Ria folded the offer and handed it back. "Thank you, but I want to prove myself as an F rank." She smiled and meant it. In the fields where F-rank Awakeners work, there is one who defies explanation. Grix stood in his usual alley, watching it all unfold. Accessing evaluation records, no records found. The official B-rank assessment. The examiner's face stiffened just slightly. The ruling, B-. Her past evaluation records were gone, not lost, but erased, as though they had never existed. "There are no records. My past evaluation records." Grix was quiet for a moment, then spoke calmly. "That is normal, for them to be gone." Grix spoke slowly. "There are people who live outside the records. Whether to exist without a record meant protection or erasure, no one would say." When Grix let slip a certain name, the color drained from Ria's face. For the first time, the smile faded from Ria's face. "Is this system really fair?" In the moment her smile left, the F grade saw the system for the first time. For a brief moment, the number told the truth. Weeks had passed, and Ria walked calmly into the hall. Yet the examiner's face was one she'd never seen before. As the frost seal bloomed from her fingertips, the air in the hall quietly began to sink. The number settled as if nothing had happened. Ruling deferred, previous grade held. Ria didn't miss that single second. That evening, one short line came from Grix. "It's time you came." At the end of a narrow corridor, an old terminal blinked alone, and paper files were stacked along the wall beside it. Grix held out a single sheet. On paper it read F, but in truth, it was B+, a lie from the very start. The next page held more names. not missing, but alive outside the record. Ria couldn't put the files down. Her fingertips trembled, but her eyes no longer did. Ria rose to her feet slowly. A low voice lingered in the corridor. I have to take this with me. Back at the hall, that hand sets down a file this time, not the old F-rank slip. Over days, Grix gathered forgotten names and files that had started to breathe again. Through that gathered crowd, Ria climbed the hall steps without hurry. No anger in her eyes, no tremor in her breath, only the single page of proof she'd brought. Flashbulbs rained down while the square's murmur thickened layer by layer. Ria raised the file. Objection, this is my actual rank. The hall officers' faces hardened and every gaze in the square fixed on one point. She walked to the retest dais without pause, and the gauge stirred quietly awake. The ether in the air locked still, and the whole square froze white in a single beat. As the gauge settled at A rank, Grix caught her swaying shoulder without a word. You did it. Faces with the same story gathered at the review window, forming a slow, lengthening line. And far above, a gloved hand drew that file quietly toward itself. Join the myth, subscribe, and like.